Hi guys, welcome to the group coaching today. You guys know how it is if everyone's too busy or the times just don't work for you to show up on the live group coaching. Remember, I just want to remind you that you can send in your questions and I will completely answer them for you here at the group coaching or within the community if obviously the group coaching is too far in advance for you to wait. So make sure you utilize this aspect of the course. It's a really unique aspect. Not a lot of online courses have a live option where you can jump on with the coach and ask direct questions or even get direct feedback within a community. I personally believe that it's a game changer and that it is literally um, almost necessary for a lot of people to just ask those questions that you might not think are important. I do know that we're building a pretty amazing community where you can Google within the search box and look for specific things. And then obviously the course itself is just packed with so much information. Sometimes I'm a little bit scared it's too much information, but I do trust that the people that come into the formula are highly educated and know to take it easy, to take it slow, and to know that you don't have to do everything in the course and take what resonates and take what doesn't resonate, because that is the key to success, right? Um, and this is kind of the topic that I want to talk to you guys about today is really following that intuition. Obviously, there's a whole little section about following your intuition, how to really tap into that, and some resources to start go exploring and learning how to do that more. But I would say over 90% of people that come into finding fertility, whether that's on social media, listen to the podcast here in the community, we've tried a lot. We have tried it all. And that's how it feels like. And you guys know, if you've been with me long enough or you know my story, that's exactly how I felt, especially after my failed or my second failed IVF. I just thought, what the fuck? Like, what more can I actually do to improve my situation? And it was a lot more, but it didn't feel like a huge something like a big task to take on after I had already done so much. It was like, okay, finding out that I was highly intolerant to, the nightshades, was the last thing that I really needed to put into place, to just basically fix my fertility. I mean, that was it, right? Eliminate those things that were highly, that I was highly intolerant to, and then just giving it time to heal and do its thing. Um, I'm sure I've said it before, but I definitely believe that eliminating the nightshades, and doing the second frozen embryo transfer with immune suppressing drugs. I still needed the immune suppressing drugs at that time. I do not believe that I would have got or stayed pregnant without them. But being on that protocol, pretty strictly, like almost like not in a healthy way strict, mentally and emotionally wise, because I didn't know, I didn't have the guidance and support that if I did just happen to have some nightshades, that I wasn't gonna have a miscarriage, which that was like my biggest fear. Um, that time that I gave my body, off of all the intolerant things that I have been putting in my body, that's when my fertility, quote unquote, reconnected. That's when my gut really healed. And then obviously, as we all know by people telling us just relax or just go on holiday, or I had a baby through IVF or adopted, and then, the stress of infertility decreases dramatically. And obviously, when have a baby, whether that be through IVF, IUI, naturally, adoption, donor, whatever it is, your focus, just naturally shifts from infertility to motherhood, right? You are now put in a different, state of mind until you're ready to try again. But it does take that stress that has compiled onto us away naturally, right? And it's not because we just relax. It's not because, we easily forgot about everything that we just went through, but we are like literally not hyper focusing on the task at hand of getting and staying pregnant. So it's just by default, really, but there is massive, science behind it that your adrenals start getting a rest, your cortisol isn't through the roof anymore. You definitely have like different issues about sleepless nights and, worrying about being a mom, but I definitely think that's just like a different kettle of fish. Um, so giving your time, like once you feel like you're really on the right path, and this can sometimes be annoying and super frustrating because sometimes the right path isn't what you thought it was going to be. Sometimes you are literally just doing the things to do the things, like a checklist. I've had a one-to-one client where I suggested something, and she's like, okay, I'm gonna add it to the list. And like light bulbs went off in my head, like, what do you mean a list? And she's like, well, I have a list of everything I need to do on a daily basis. And this was like smoothies, vitamins, meditations, affirmations. And I was just like, holy shit, that sounds super stressful. And I'm going to go out on a limb and just assume that you're not even fully present for all of that, because how can you be? Like, how can you be present in your life, your day-to-day job, your day-to-day life with your partner, if you're dealing with secondary infertility with the children at hand, and then have this massive, massive to-do list just for fertility. I'm, am pretty confident when I say that that's not helping, and that's just adding to the stress. Um, so I know there's going to be phases of that. And what I really want to hone in on is like following your intuition and being present and just kind of being aware of like, is this actually serving me? Like, is this actually something that I need to put my attention to? Or is this just something tangible that I'm doing? So therefore, I feel like I'm doing something. So therefore, because I feel like I'm doing, then therefore something's going to happen. Right. And I think we can all get stuck in that trap of doing instead of being. So, when you are figuring out um, the right steps for you, be patient with yourself, give things time, follow your intuition of whether or not that particular thing is necessary, or you feel like you're doing it because you were told to do it in the course, or you've heard someone else did it, or it worked for someone else. And this is a really good opportunity to ask questions, right? Like, here's my situation. Do you really think this is a valuable thing for me to do right now? And we can help, I can help you decipher whether or not it is. Um, and then when you do feel confident, right? You feel confident that you're on the right diet. You feel confident that you have found modalities to decrease your stress levels, to improve your mental and emotional health, to start digging into some of those past traumas that are keeping you stuck and in self-sabotage mode. And you just feel good on your body products, your home products. You just feel good. You feel like life is good. Then you feel really confident that you're bringing joy and happiness back into your life right now, making that possible right now. Um, that is like a game changer for people. And I know it sounds really simple and silly and maybe nothing to do with your fertility, but it is really just raising that conscious awareness and that vibration in yourself right now, and the gratitude, bringing in being thankful. One of the kind of life changing, or like a situation that I was super aware of and laugh at now, is when I changed my diet. I remember sitting down at the breakfast table, eating a beautiful breakfast and being grumpy as fuck. And and then I just started laughing at myself, like literally out loud. And I was just like, what are you doing? Like, this is exactly what is a big issue for you, is that you are looking at this situation as a negative, where, okay, it's hard, and yes, it's a little bit stressful and sucks at sometimes, but the reality is that you have this beautiful home, you're sat at a beautiful breakfast table looking over your beautiful garden, you have money to buy food that you are is healthy and nourishing. You now have the knowledge that you are able to change your situation. And just FYI, I didn't know that I had that knowledge during this time, but I'm telling you, like, you guys can sit there and be super confident that these things are going to work for you in various different ways. Um, so when I discovered that power, it didn't, like, obviously it did not change things overnight. I still had failed IVFs and miscarriage and stuff, but it was the start of me bringing in that gratitude and that awareness of joy, and happiness, that, okay, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but where I want to be is in a place of love, of joy, of gratitude. And I have to start now, not when, like, my ultimate goal is reached, right? Because the fact of the matter is that the pregnancy and the baby and the family or the adoption or whatever it is you think is going to make you happy, I can hand on heart tell you that for most of us, that isn't what's going to bring you the happiness that you're actually truly seeking. It's going to be a cherry on the top, but it's going to even taste better, feel better, be better when the happiness and the joy and the acceptance and the love is already there. And getting super woo woo, it's actually going to bring you feeling that those emotions is actually going to be bringing you steps closer and drawing what you actually want to you. Um, and it's just about time, giving your body time to heal, giving your mental and emotional health time to readjust, learning to rewire those neurons inside your brain. It is, I know we've all been kind of sold this quick fix, especially with IVF, especially with some of the gurus out there. And it's just not, for us dealing with fertility, it's minimum 3 months. Minimum 3 months. And that's 3 months from starting when you feel, pretty confident that you have, all the things in line physically that you need to do to improve your egg quality, right? Like, at the moment, there's no speeding that shit that shit up, right? We have to, have the patience of that. And I know surrendering is one of the hardest things to do, I'm just reading this book right now. Oh, I thought my phone was right here. I'm going to get this book title out for you guys. I'm listening to it. I listen to all my books. It's called The Alchemy of Imagination. It's literally like 4 hours long on Audible, so it's not really a big book. But out of the many, woo-woo mindset books that I've read, I don't know if it's like this one's crystal clear to me because I've read so many and I'm like just really open to all of this. But so far, it's probably one of the best, most straightforward books that talks about manifestation and law of attraction and all that stuff. And I would say one of the most honest ones too. Part of it at the very beginning was talking about, kind of the three things that you need. And and he was like, and the thing about these three things is that they're not easy. They sound easy, but the fact of the matter is that our subconscious mind is sometimes a little bitch and it's really, really hard to reprogram that or believe that it's simple too. So this is probably the first time I've kind of really talked about a modality called Psych-K. I know I've introduced it within the course a little bit. And it's something I'll start talking a lot more about when I'm on my second level. And to be honest, by the time this gets out onto the podcast, I will be qualified to do it remotely. Um, but even though it is literally the quickest and most efficient way I have found to reprogram my subconscious mind and help others do that, um, you still have to be at a point of belief that it can be that easy, right? Because if we're sat here thinking things have to be hard, we've always told you have to go the deep night of the soul, you have to do all this inner child work, like, anything worth doing, or what is the phrase? Anything good worth doing is hard, or whatever. I don't even know the phrase. I've kicked it out of my brain. Like, we've just been told like things have to be really, really hard, to be done. And Psych-K definitely is not that. And sometimes I'm like, WTF, I can't believe it is this simple to um, change your subconscious beliefs. And when you're able to change those subconscious beliefs, and this is why I've picked up this modality, because over the years working with clients, I can get you there, man. I can tell you exactly what you need to do physically. I can, find out all the holes that you need to do, maybe with testing, and even like with medicine. We can come to a conclusion quite quickly if IVF is going to be your fastest route. Like that is simple for me, like to do for you. And I enjoy it so much. But what I've been seeing is that we get you on that path, but for some, and this is the correlation um, of success, and I'm doing air quotes, of people who have gotten and stayed pregnant and the people who haven't through my coaching, is this one thing about the mindset, about the worthiness, about the self-love, about doing the tangible things on such a consistent basis that it does bring the change, and that you believe that you're worthy of that change. I would say on a side note too, the other people who haven't had success, sometimes it just is too late. They've fallen off that cliff, and um, it's it's a fine balance of being able to bring them back, right? Now, to get extremely woo-woo, Dr. Joe Dispenza, which I'm gonna actually put a section in the course about, he's doing some amazing research, and like he's got some amazing stories of people literally changing their health and the structure of their body, right? Because I always talk about like, okay, no one's truly infertile. The only people who really can claim that are people with structural issues. And, the only things that we cannot change with functional medicine at the point is structural issues. and genetic issues that, like no diet and lifestyle is going to change. But his crazy ass woo-woo stuff is even proving that wrong. But I'm gonna be honest, it's you gotta, and just like I was saying with Psych-K, you've got to be to that point where you're even willing to be so delusional that that's gonna work. And to get that to that point is a journey, right? And it's really important to walk your own path and walk your own journey and not compare yourself to other people and not do things because you're like, oh, that's so amazing, it's going to work for me. Because sometimes even those amazing, cool, woo woo crazy things don't work for people because they're just not ready to accept that level of like craziness. I don't even know what to say right now because I don't like talking about people about being on like levels like above you, right? I think we're all moving forward. But sometimes if you like leap too far forward, you're just not ready to accept like that craziness. That's all I can say about it. It is craziness. It's like pure craziness. And you got to be ready to receive. And I don't want to say people aren't ready to receive, because I know I've heard a lot of people be really hurt by, well, I've tried this, and then someone says to them like, well, you just weren't ready. And it's just like, it's not like a healthy conversation. I just look at it as sometimes we have so much to access, and sometimes it's just not our time to access that information. We do have to maybe have some deeper understanding of the steps that maybe we bypassed. I'm not sure, I was having this conversation in my head that, can you get someone who has just like, okay, I believe that the woo-woo stuff works, and then start using Psych-K and bypass all of the deep, dark night soul stuff? It's just an interesting question because do I believe that you have to go back and relive traumas and relive all that stuff? No, I don't believe that you have to, but I'm just wondering if the human experience um that's the way the human experience works at the moment. I'm not sure. Yeah. So anyways, this is like a really big tangent, and I didn't mean to go this long and get this woo-woo with you guys. But I hope that this has helped you wherever you are on your journey. And I'm excited to connect with you guys in the future on these live group coachings.